Okay, guys, so we're going to continue our coverage over Batman Knightquest, but now we're going to pick up with Knightquest The Search. Now, as we all know, when it comes to the Batman Nightfall trilogy, you had Nightfall, Knightquest, and Knight's End. But when it came to Knightquest, you had two different Knightquests happening at the same time. You had Knightquest The Crusade and Knightquest The Search. And so it did get a tad bit confusing when it came to the actual reading order for Knightquest because you had two things happening at once. So, for example, when it came to Knightquest The Crusade, it was all about John Paul Valley becoming Batman and watching him be Batman and take on the different villains of Gotham City. But The Search is more a Bruce Wayne storyline where you have Bruce Wayne leave Gotham to hopefully find two people that were kidnapped back in Nightfall. And that will be Jack Drake, the father of Tim Drake, and Sandra Kinsolving, a woman that Bruce Wayne was madly in love with. And so The Search, the whole idea of trying to find those two characters and hopefully bring them back to Gotham. But also, it kind of kept fans happy about the whole idea of still seeing Bruce Wayne, even though Bruce Wayne was no longer Batman. Now, when it came to Batman The Search, it did take place in multiple different titles. And let me explain. So you had Shadow of the Bat, Tales of the Dark Knight, a Robin book as well to kind of help tell the story of, well, Batman Knightquest The Search. But the first two chapters of this storyline took place in Justice League Task Force. Now, in 1993, you already had three different teams when it came to the Justice League. You had JLA, JLE, the team in Europe. You also had JLQ, Justice League Quarterly. So you had three different books out there when it came to the Justice League. But for Task Force, it was a spinoff of the Europe team, another team working for the United Nations. Now, here's the thing about Task Force. You see, Task Force had a revolving door. You only had two people be in every single issue of this series, or the long-term members of the team, and that would be Martian Manhunter and Gypsy. Besides that, everybody else was coming and going. Matter of fact, Dick Grayson, who was Nightwing at his time, he was part of the team as well at the very beginning. And then he also dipped out. It was a revolving door. It was kind of like DC was trying to get fans involved or fall in love with other characters, other DC universe. But either way, the first two chapters do pick up in Justice League Task Force. Now, the first few pages of the first chapter of today's video is honestly kind of funny to me. Now, when it comes to Bruce Wayne, we have to remember this man is still recovering after having his back broken by Bane. So he's in a wheelchair. Now, his wheelchair has been upgraded thanks to a character known as Harold. But either way, we do see that Bruce Wayne and also Alfred went over to Santa Prisca. And the reason why, because all the clues they found back in Gotham City said, hey, we got to go here to hopefully find Sandra and also Jack Drake. And so when you have Alfred and also Bruce arrive, they're then confronted by some assassins. Now, for Bruce Wayne, he's able to use the wheelchair that has been upgraded thanks to Harold as a way to fight off at least some of the assassins who were sent after him. Now, I'll explain why these assassins are coming after Bruce and Alfred later on in this video. But for right now, we see Bruce Wayne being able to hold his own. Now, real quick, can I say it's pretty funny to see Alfred say, hey, Bruce, you know what? You should listen to the radio. I heard that rap music is really great right now, and you should listen to Big Daddy Kane. I found that pretty funny because that is actually a rapper's name. Either way, once you have Bruce trying his best to fight off these assassins, somebody else does appear to help Bruce out. And that would be Bronze Tiger. Now, Bronze Tiger first appeared back in Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter issue number 1 in 1975. Now, for Bronze Tiger, he was trained by a character known as O Sensei. Now, O Sensei is one of the greatest fighters across DC Comics. And so when he trained Bronze Tiger, he also turned Bronze Tiger into one of the world's greatest martial artists. Now, unfortunately, you did have Bronze Tiger be kidnapped by the League of Assassins, who then turned him into one of the world's greatest assassins ever seen. Now, he was able to fight against the programming and become a great superhero. And matter of fact, he's part of the good old task force team. Now, for Bronze Tiger, he was called here by Bruce Wayne for a good reason. And I'll explain why here down the road in this video. But for Bruce Wayne, he's kind of happy to see Bronze Tiger because you do have Bronze Tiger being able to take down these assassins. Now for Bruce, he's kind of like, yes, I did need his help, but I want these assassins to be able to get away so that we can find them later on and to then hopefully find Sandra and also Jack Drake. And so you have Bruce being able to gas Bronze Tiger to allow the assassins to get away, to hopefully find them down the road in this storyline. Now, when it comes to Bruce Wayne, he does tell us that he called up the bosses of the Justice League Task Force to get Bronze Tiger and other members over here to Santa Prisca to basically help out to save the lives of Sandra and also Jack Drake. And so you have Bruce, Alfred, and also Bronze Tiger go over to a nearby hotel. Now, guys, real quickly, when it comes to Bruce Wayne, he does look a tad bit different. And the reason why, because, okay, when it comes to Bruce Wayne, he is pretending to be himself. Yes, you heard that right. It's Bruce Wayne pretending to be Bruce Wayne. Now, for Bruce, he believes he has a good reason why he is pretending to be himself. And I'll explain why here in the second chapter of this video. But either way, you didn't have Alfred, Bronze Tiger, and also Bruce talk about what their goal is with all three of them being in Santa Prisca. Why you have all three characters talking to one another, we kind of find out another member of the task force is there as well, and that would be Gypsy. Now, like I said earlier, when it comes to Justice League Task Force, you had two characters who appeared in almost every single book, Martian Manhunter and also Gypsy. The rest of the team was, again, a revolving door. You had some folks come and some folks leave by the next chapter when it came to the series. And so for Gypsy, she was also called in by Bruce Wayne to help out with this mission alongside with Bronze Tiger. Now for Gypsy, she has a huge ability when it comes to illusions. She can do so many different things with that kind of power, but for today's video, it's really more the idea that she can turn herself invisible by hiding in plain sight. Again, the whole idea of illusions. We kind of find out that for Bruce Wayne, the reason why he had allowed that assassin to get away is because that assassin had ran over to the other members of his group. And most likely that assassin could be nearby Sandra and also Jack Drake. And so for Bruce, he was able to gas that assassin, but also put a tracker on him. And so now for Bronze Tiger and also for Gypsy, they can follow that tracker to hopefully find Sandra and also Jack Drake. Now, while you have our heroes having this conversation, out of nowhere, you do have another assassin appear, try to kill off Bruce Wayne. But the very last second, he's saved by Green Arrow, who's also part of the task force team. He was also called in by Bruce Wayne as well. But for Green Arrow, he's kind of just keeping his distance at the moment. But either way, our heroes do now have a game plan when it comes to hopefully saving Sandra and also Jack Drake as well. Now, we do see Bruce Wayne and also Alfred call in over to John Paul Valley and also Tim Drake to check in on how John Paul is doing as Batman, but also how is Gotham doing as well. Now, because you had Knightquest The Search happen the same time as Knightquest Crusade, this takes place before all the mess that went down between Robin and also John Paul Valley. It takes place before you had John Paul Valley go down the deep end. And so right now for Tim Drake and also John Paul, they're kind of on the same side and they're kind of like working together. And so you have Bruce tell Tim like, hey man, don't worry. We're going to do our best to bring your father home. So guys, just sit tight and dad will be home very soon. Now, we do learn here that when it comes to the assassins, the reason why they had attacked Bruce and Alfred at the airport is all because somebody in Gotham City must have tipped off the assassins that two people, it was three, because you did have Selena caught on the airplane as well, but she had disappeared. But either way, somebody back in Gotham had tipped off the assassins that two people are heading over to Santa Prisca, and most likely they're looking for Sandra and also Jack Drake. And so that explains why you had our heroes be attacked at the airport, but also at the hotel as well. Now, when it comes to Bronze Tiger and Gypsy, they do find a hideout for the assassins. Now, we do learn here that they were hired by a character known as Mr. Asp or ASP. I'm saying Asp. But either way, they were hired to get Jack and also Sandra for this person, and they're waiting for him to arrive. Now, you do have the assassins find out that the one they sent after Bruce Wayne at the hotel had technically failed. And so now their goal is to send more guys over to the hotel and just blow it up. So we see an army of armed guys with rocket launchers just go over to the hotel and they just fire away, sending rockets into the hotel, blowing it up left and right. And so we're kind of left to believe that in the possibility that Bruce Wayne and Alfred are, well, officially dead. Now, as we all know, they're not going to die here, but we're kind of left at first like, oh my God, the whole entire hotel just got blown up. There's no way they have survived that entire explosion. Now, when Bronze Tiger and also Gypsy arrive back at the hotel to find the whole entire building has been blown up, they now truly believe that Bruce Wayne and also Alfred are officially dead. And so they're right now in their feels about the idea of losing two people they had just met. Now, you do have our two heroes being surrounded by some of the assassins who had just blown up the hotel. And they do attack Bronze Tiger and also Gypsy, but you do have our two young heroes being able to take them down very easily. Now, we do kind of find out that Bruce Wayne and also Alfred, they are alive. They were able to get inside some kind of shelter. Now, this is where I explain the whole idea of why you have Bruce Wayne pretending to be, well, Bruce Wayne. Because for Bronze Tiger and also for Gypsy, it's going to be hard to believe the whole idea that Bruce Wayne came out of his way to come over to Santa Prisca to hire different members of the Justice League to help out with this situation. And so for Bronze Tiger and also Gypsy and also Green Arrow as well, they're going to believe it's somebody else who is pretending to be Bruce Wayne as a way to get some special treatment. But in reality, Bruce Wayne is back in Gotham. And so for Bronze Tiger, Gypsy, and Green Arrow, they're currently thinking it's somebody else who's pretending to be Bruce Wayne so that he's able to keep up with his secret identity life. But getting back over to Bronze Tiger and also Gypsy, their main goal now is to just continue on and try and save the lives of both Jack Drake and Sandra Kinsolving. Now, when it comes to the assassins who currently have them, they got a plan of their own as well too, to release wild dogs around the property as a way to make sure that nobody will be able to sneak their way into the building to save the lives of Jack and also Sandra. But for Bronze Tiger and Gypsy, they have no choice. They have a job, and that job is to go ahead and save those two people. But once you have our heroes being able to make it back over to the building the assassins are currently using, you have Bronze Tiger send in Gypsy to sneak into the building. Now, while she's trying to sneak into the building, Bronze Tiger is then confronted by the wild dogs the assassin had released earlier. Now, for Bronze Tiger, he is able to hold his own against some of the wild dogs, but one of them were able to get the jump on him. Now, at the very last second, you did have Green Arrow appear once again. Now, we do learn here that for Green Arrow, like the others, he was brought in on his job, but he was told to kind of stay back just in case anything pops off. kind of like a backup plan if things go south very quickly. Now, for Green Arrow, he's kind of like Bronze Tiger and also like Gypsy. They don't believe that Bruce Wayne was really Bruce Wayne. They believe it was somebody else pretending to be Bruce Wayne. Either way, you have Green Arrow and Bronze Tiger agree to work together with Gypsy, who's currently inside the building right now, to get the job done. Now, the rest of the book is really more of Bronze Tiger, Green Arrow, and also Gypsy working together to hopefully save Sandra and also Jack. Now, here's the thing, and I did not really say anything about this, but for Jack Drake, he's not feeling well, very sick for a lot of reasons. But for Sandra, as a doctor, her main goal is to take care of her patient. But the assassins would not allow her to take care of her patient. And so even though you have Green Arrow, Bronze Tiger, and also Gypsy being able to get inside there, they get her at least and tell her, get the heck outside while we try our best to save Jack Drake. You had the assassins carrying Jack over to a helicopter. Now, this helicopter does belong to their boss, Mr. Asp, who we're going to see in later videos down the road when it comes to our coverage over the search. But either way, you didn't have those assassins being able to grab Jack Drake and get him on the helicopter. At the very last second, you had Sandra, who had ignored directions that were given to her by Bronze Tiger and Green Arrow, and gets onto the helicopter as well, which basically means Homegirl just got recaptured by the assassins that she just got away from. And the reason why? Because she's a doctor. She got to take care of her patient. He needs her. And so she allowed herself to get recaptured to go along with them. And the chopper, it flies away with the assassins, with Sandra, and also Jack, and our mysterious Mr. Character known as Mr. Asp, who's now in charge of the whole entire thing. Now, for Bruce Wayne, he's kind of upset about the fact that, yes, they had lost Sandra and also Jack. They may have lost the battle, but not the war. And so the storyline is going to continue on in another Bat title book for our next video when it comes to Knightquest The Search. But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please, leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.